Acura is bringing back the RSX. But instead of excitement, I'm left a bit wondering, did they miss their shot? Let's talk about the new Acura RSX. Hello and welcome everybody to the Curbside Corner. My name is Eric and today we're talking about the brand new Acura RSX. But before we get started in this video, if you can please consider subscribing to the channel. It would mean the absolute world to me. And in return, here's a picture of some waves. Now, let's get started into this video. Before we talk about the brand new RSX EV, let's talk about the history of the RSX. The RSX first showed up in 2002, and it was Acura's way of replacing the beloved Integra in North America. Overseas, Honda kept calling it the Integra, but here in the United States, we got the RSX. The base RSX came with a 2-liter iVTEC engine making 160 horsepower, but the one enthusiasts still talk about is the Type S, and that's where the magic came from. A K20 engine revving to the moon, 200 horsepower, a 6-speed manual only, tighter suspension, better brakes. It was light, tossable, and it quickly became a tuner favorite. Unfortunately, it didn't last long. And in 2006, Acura pulled the plug on the RSX so that it can move itself upstream, chasing luxury buyers instead of the young crowd that loved the RSX. And one question you might have for yourself is, why is Acura reviving the RSX nameplate for this EV? And the answer is quite simple. The RSX is tied to a golden era of Acura when it still made fun, affordable coupes for the younger generation. And my thoughts honestly is that I think that Acura is trying to connect itself to the younger generations, to people that are around my age and my generation. I hate saying that out loud because it makes me feel so old. But I truly think that's what Acura is trying to do with this play, is that they're thinking, hey, if we make a fun EV car similar to the Model 3 and we name it the RSX, it's going to bring in all of this younger crowd and hype to this vehicle. However, to me, I think it drastically misses the mark. Because in my eyes, I'm not looking for a pure EV. If I was looking for a pure EV, I would go buy a Tesla Model 3 or Tesla Model Y or the Rivian. But for myself, I'm looking for either a hybrid or I'm looking for an internal combustion engine that is fun to drive, that takes corners well, and it's just something that's the RSX used to be. But why would they reuse the naming just to get a little nostalgia factor and bring back that feeling of nostalgia for people my age? But honestly, I think it misses the mark. However, even though Acura misses the mark on the naming convention of this car, I don't think this car can be an entire loss, because Acura and Honda as a bigger brand, they know how to make cars. Whether it's the Honda Civic Type R, or it's the Acura Integra Type S, or it's the TLX Type S, Acura knows how to make fun driving cars. However, I truly think that they should have put this car on its own, because putting it with the RSX, it already has a bad taste in most people's mouths. And just doing this is just trying to get the nostalgia factor. And is that truly going to increase the sales on this EV, instead of just maybe naming it something entirely different and letting the car live on its own? And this quote by Car and Driver definitely helps make it a little bit more exciting for this RSX. The new RSX has a proprietary platform that is the first EV architecture the automaker has developed entirely in-house. I actually am a little bit excited about this car because the RSX is actually an in-house built EV by Honda Motors, which is actually something entirely different that Honda has ever come up with, as this is their first one that they actually built in-house. Because the Acura ZDX was a combination between GM and Acura working together to make an EV, but this RSX is 100% built in-house. And moving into the last section is, what should Acura truly be focusing on? And I will say it one time and I will say it a million times. I think that Acura should be focusing on hybrids rather than EVs. EVs are, yes, they're the future, they're the far future for most car manufacturers. But for the near future, the next 5 to 10 years, car manufacturers should really be focusing on hybrids. Toyota's doing it, Lexus is doing it, Acura needs to step up its game. As someone who has been extremely outspoken about the new Honda Prelude that's coming up, I'll leave a link up there so if you want to check out the full video. I'm for one truly excited for this hybrid. And why not just bring the hybrid system into Acura? Instead of focusing on EVs and spending billions and billions of dollars on R&D research, Acura is perfectly positioned to make a fun-loving, sporty, hybrid vehicle that gets fantastic gas mileage, but that's also fun to drive around the city. What is there not to love about that? I would love to see what Acura could come up with instead of making EVs and trying to appeal to this market of Tesla Model 3 drivers, which that's a whole nother conversation. And I will be making a video on that I truly think that the EV market is dead in the sense of the people that already want EVs, they've already bought EVs, but people that would rather have hybrids or internal combustion engines, they're still buying cars. And I, for one, might not be the only person that thinks this way, but I think that Acura is having an identity crisis. I think that they are extremely late to the EV market. The Tesla Model 3, the Tesla Model Y, it rules the entry-level car market. But a lot of people don't want EVs. A lot of people are looking for either good fuel efficient ICE vehicles or they're looking for hybrid vehicles. And I think that's just a huge miss by Acura here. Instead of forcing itself to try to make a Model 3 competition where they're trying to take some of the marketplace of Tesla or other the electric car manufacturers out there, I think that Acura should be focusing on hybrids instead if they're truly moving to electrification. Acura has always been seen as a car company that makes fun, sporty cars. Even if their cars are a little bit underpowered, they've always been fun to drive. But think about if Acura could take the Honda Civic Hybrid or take the hybrid technology that it's working on for the Honda side and bring that into Acura and wrap that up into some sort of very comfortable, luxurious, half hybrid, half fun-loving car. What's there not to love about that? And that's something I think that Acura is just missing in itself, is that it truly should make its last sedan, the Integra, into something of a hybrid. And that's something that I've also noticed as well with Acura, is that they need to focus on hybrid technology. This EV is leaving me questioned. I can't wait to see reviews. I can't wait to sit inside of it and actually see and test drive it. But for someone like myself, it just leaves the whole market perplexed in that why are they still trying to compete with the Model 3? Why are they still trying to compete with just electric only vehicles when the market has spoken? Hybrids are still the king of the electrification of the world, versus EVs they're just still growing and growing. And it's going to take years and years for them to catch up to the infrastructure that's out there for internal combustion engines and hybrid engines. In conclusion, I'm mixed on this car. As someone who thinks that Acura and Honda should be going the opposite direction and be focusing on sporty hybrid engine cars instead, I'm not too excited for the RSX. However, one thing I am excited about the RSX is that this will be Honda's first truly built in-house EV technology. So pretty excited about that. But I would love to pass the question off to you. What are your thoughts about the RSX? Do you think it's going to be a good car? Would love to know your thoughts down below. But as always, my name is Eric. Thank you so much for pulling up to the curb, and let's keep talking cars.